Welcome to the Hobby School podcast. Whether you're a seasoned hobbyist or just getting started, Hobby School is the perfect place to learn something new. My name is Dr. Destiny Kopp, and I'm your host of the podcast. But before we jump into our episode for today, the only thing I ask is that if you enjoyed the episode, please share with a friend and give us an honest review on your favorite podcast platform. This helps us get out the content to more people. I also want to invite you to get on our wait list for our next Hobby School Online Learning Summit. These are free to attend, and you can find the link to join at hobbyschool.com, which is also in our podcast show notes. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the episode. And my special guest today is Jan Howell. Jan has been sewing and crafting since she was a child. She has been influenced by a family that cherishes hands on creativity. She delights in creating unique items that blend vibrant colors, intriguing textures, and most importantly, a sense of purpose. Jan, I am super excited to chat with you, and we're going to be talking about upcycling and all of those fun topics. And I have a ton of questions for you. But before we get into all of that, can you tell the good audience just a little bit more about you and how you help people?
Yeah, like you said in the intro, I have been doing things like this for quite a while, and it's just kind of second nature to take fabric or different things and create things with them. I have a small business, have a YouTube channel where I teach basic sewing skills. I think it's really fun to help people get their sewing machines out of the closet or just start sewing with the things that they have and make the projects really simple and easy. And I also design patterns and like other things, watercolor. And I think I have too many interests for, I have a lot of interests, I guess, that I have to juggle in. But sewing is one of my favorite, and using upcycled materials is one of my niches, I guess.
Well, you're definitely in good company here because everybody listening to this podcast episode, we're interested in a lot of different things. And what kind of your expertise in what we're going to be talking about today is, looking at and finding ways to upcycle or recycle items for unique crafting and sewing projects. So, this is a little bit of a unique topic area, something I haven't spoken a lot about on the podcast. So, let's talk about this a little bit. Kind of what got you into this particular niche, and what have you kind of done over the years to take these, I'll say these products that were probably headed to a landfill, I'm assuming, and actually do something with them and make them valuable to someone.
Yeah. So when my kids were small, uh, they're they're adults now, but when they were small, I used to like taking their father's t-shirts or striped knit shirts and making little jumpsuits out of them for babies and things. I just saw that I could do that. There's this good fabric. And so I've kind of done that all along, but the upcycling niche got more intense when saw a pair of mittens that were made out of sweaters, and I tried to craft my own pattern and worked on that several times to get it just the right fit, because the others that I've tried on were really bulky and not easy to wear. I tweaked the pattern really well to fit nice on your hands, and I went and got a few of my wool sweaters and shrunk them down, learned how to do that, and oh, I just loved the texture of the wool when it was shrunk down and how warm they are, the mittens. And so I got thinking, well, if they feel good on your hands, then I bet this stuff would feel really good on your feet. I have designed several slipper patterns as well using upcycled and felted wool sweaters. And then the rest is history. I make baby toys and all kinds of things with the upcycled sweaters. But I also use upcycled t-shirts for so many projects, from bags and even shoelaces and t-shirt string to crochet with and all kinds of fun things that you can do with upcycled t-shirts.
Well, it sounds like there's a lot of materials and things that you use in your upcycle projects. Where do you go to find all of these materials? Where's a good place to go to find these materials that would probably be headed to the landfill?
Well, like you said, if you have a sweater or an item of clothing that you don't want anymore, instead of just, putting it in the trash, you could give it to a secondhand store. But a lot of times they do end up in the landfill. So just check your own closets. Or I do a lot of stuff with upcycled jeans and denim. And so start with your own closet, but go to thrift stores. Thrift stores are loaded with and consignment stores, garage sales where you can get and a lot, even a retail store, when they have a clearance rack, you can get things like 70% off. I know I've gotten big, extra large dresses, knit dresses, and have a ton of fabric to use, even, that way. So,
So definitely like sweaters, t-shirts, that sort of thing. We could use that and use these in these upcycling projects. What other items? Are there other things out there that you use?
yeah, I love finding garden tools. Like,
Garden tools. Oh,
yeah,
oh,
yeah, yeah. I've used rakes. You tip them upside down, you put, the little prongs, the metal prongs that come out. I've used that really a fun way to hang your bracelets, your jewelry on, and it looks really cute on the wall. Old mugs, that are used for mugs, I put my paintbrushes in, old jars, you can use mason jars or different fun glass containers that were meant to do one thing. Like I have a really cute vintage jar that has a big lid and easy to open and close that I put my laundry soap in. So,
oh wow.
yeah, my home was kind of full of fun little things, old buckets, tin buckets that are rustic looking. I put my plants, my potted plants in to display. So just taking things and looking at them a different way, like if you like something, bring it into your home and don't be afraid to look outside the box when it comes to decorating your homes and crafting and making new things.
Well, it sounds like a lot of the thrift stores would be perfect for this. I guess the challenge that I would have, because I'm not sure that my brain thinks that way, is going into a store like that, or maybe a yard sale, or something like that. So, how does that inspiration come to you? I guess is what I'm asking.
You'll get so you can recognize good quality, like a good quality t-shirt. If it's something that jumps out of fabric that you like. I just did a post on my website of showing you how to go into the thrift store actually and what to look for. It's still in good quality shape and it just has colors that you like. If it draws your attention, if it, sucks you in and you like it, then and you can see something that it could be. I think it's a matter of just thinking outside the box and you can get a lot of ideas on Pinterest as well.
What's the most unusual, or give us some examples of maybe unique or unusual things that you have found and created thing out of them?
They did mention shoelaces. So I used to think, oh, I used to look for this, some cute floral print shoelaces or something, or I'm like, there's got to be something. And so I cut up a t-shirt in made strips and you could even use woven fabric. I have a tutorial showing you how to do that, but it stretches really nicely, the t-shirt fabric. It's pretty durable and it's just fun to, lace your shoes with something bright and colorful and I don't know. I'm kind of whimsy, but it's fun.
So using like t-shirts, fabrics, making some shoelaces out of them, I think that's a great idea. You talked a little bit earlier about I believe you said it was mittens, the wool mittens that you created and you designed a digital pattern. Can you talk about other digital patterns that you may have and maybe some of the most popular ones that you have?
Yeah. The mitten pattern is probably the best selling pattern. Well, it still just sells really well. But there's also, I have baby clothes, baby blankets. changing pads, a microwavable bag you can make to cook baked potatoes in, like in just a minute or two, makes really good baked potatoes in the microwave with this all cotton fabric bag. Most of my projects are very simple and easy to, quick to make. So that, of course, I can sew other things that are more detailed, but it's fun to have a project that you can start and finish and not be overwhelmed with. So, yeah.
Well, I certainly like simple. I did that. So tell us a little bit more about, let's just say somebody wants to, do one of these projects that you're talking about. Tell us what kind of tools will they need? Will they need a sewing machine, anything, a thread, anything else? And I'm just kind of asking the question because I absolutely don't know. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah. Basic sewing machine. You could get a basic sewing machine, even brand new, for a good price. I encourage people to even look at secondhand stores or Craigslist for used machines. But a sewing machine's helpful. I have a lot of people that will sew some of these things by hand. And, all you need there is a needle and thread. A lot of people think they have to have a really expensive, fancy sewing machine, but you really don't. And, a pair of fabric scissors or a pair of scissors. Don't be afraid to just try things. And I always recommend and give suggestions on things and products and supplies that you could use. Most of the things aren't absolutely required, but you'll need some sewing thread to sew things together. I've even had projects where you could use glue. When COVID was here and making masks, we were using all kinds of crazy things to come up with because you couldn't get supplies.
Well, tell me this. Let's just say that somebody is interested in getting started. This idea fascinates them. They want to take, stuff that may already be, as you mentioned, in their closet that they don't want to either give it to Goodwill or so they want to recycle or upcycle them, I should say. Where do you suggest they get started?
What's really fun is a good starting project is making just a little like a hot pad or out of a pair of upcycled jeans. All you need is a few squares from your jeans, right? There's a lot of fun things that you can make from jeans, but that's a good fabric to start with. It's pretty easy to sew on. Another thing is upcycling would be to use, like get one of my patterns or at least just look at it and make like one of these baby balls that I'm going to teach you how to make at the summit. But you don't need a ton of fabric or a lot of supplies to do that. And that's one thing that's doable by hand as well.
I love that. So very easy to get started here. Jan, any last minute tips for the audience?
Don't be afraid. Don't be intimidated. Just get out your sewing machine, look outside the box of normal things and what makes you happy, what brings you joy. Use textures and different colors to, you know, make your life a little more interesting and enjoyable. Yeah, probably just not be afraid. And I even unpick projects when I'm sewing. Don't be afraid that if you make a mistake, just, it can't be stressful. Otherwise, you're not going to want to do it. So just be light. Be with yourself.
Just get started. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be perfect.
You may or you may not like it. Sewing's not for everyone.
So, Jan, can you let folks know where they can find you?
Yeah, I have a website, youmakeitsimple.com, where I have all kinds of DIY projects, not just sewing and crafting, but also recipes and fun things to make things a little bit easier. I have my patterns there where you can download and print those. I also have a couple Etsy shops, and one is Fibers and Twigs on Etsy. And I have a YouTube channel, just Jan Howell.
Perfect. And we'll make sure that those links are in the show notes. I believe you have a free gift for the audience also.
Yeah, I do. I have a PDF that they can download that gives upcycling tips and resource guide, gives you some tips on what to do and basic places to get your upcycling and recycling items.
Perfect. And we're going to make sure that all of those links are in the show notes for your website, both of your Etsy shops, your YouTube channel, and the free gift. And Jan, thank you so much for joining me today. I love chatting with you about this fun topic.
Well, I enjoyed it as well. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for listening today. Don't forget to sign up for the waitlist so you'll be the first to know when our next free Hobby School online learning summit launches. The link is in the show notes for this episode, or you can go to hobbyschool.com, and that Hobby School with school without an H in it. Talk soon.